Hi guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Swift Alpine 4. So I'm going to briefly just go over how to pretty much set up your caravan and a few other tips on how to maintain it, and generally when you initially first get on site, how to get everything started. So we are using our test equipment today, and you do have your equipment inside. So first up, we have the jockey wheel. The jockey wheel can go up and down using this handle, spinning one way or the other, and then using that handle you can slot it up so it's in the drive position. You have your stabilizer here. Now when we get you hooked on Saturday, I'll show you that a green ring will pop up so that you can see that it's all on. This is your handbrake, and this is your 13-pin electrics. So when you first get onto a site, you want to first level the caravan using your jockey wheel, and then you have two inserts on either side and two at the back for your legs. Your legs are only used to stabilize the caravan. Do not attempt to jack up the caravan or level the caravan using the legs. First level using the jockey wheel. To level it, make sure that this front is at the same point as the back. You can do it by eye, or you can get some tool to do that. And then once you've done that, put down all four legs to stabilize. As I said, we are using our test equipment. So you can see here, we have a gas bottle here with a connected point on one side for this gas hose, which leads into the front locker onto this. This is your Truma regulator, your gas regulator. All you have to do is screw on the gas hose. Make sure not to cross thread it. You can hand tighten it to an extent and then finish it off using a spanner. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist your gas bottle in the positive direction until you can't twist it anymore. Heading on to this side of the caravan, you first have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air into the boiler. You don't have to do anything with the flue except make sure that it's nice and clean and it's got no debris around it like leaves. So all you have to do is, just give it a clean every now and then. Make sure that nothing's blocking it. This is our test ack roll. Inside the ack roll we have fresh drinking water, and then you have this connected point here, and this is where your water pump lies. So I'll just come around this side. The water pump is based on a trigger system like this. So to remove your pump, press in on the trigger and stiff, there we go, pull it out. There you can see the trigger. You don't have to use the trigger to push it in. And then this is the lead. One main thing to note with the lead is that sometimes they may curl up, and you don't want to do that. So make sure it's nice and straight when you put it into the ack roll. At the bottom, you have a strainer. The strainer has to sit at the bottom of the water barrel, as otherwise it will just be sucking through air, and that can damage things like the boiler. So make sure that this lead is straight and this sits at the bottom. You have this plastic coat here, and that is for when you have the lead connected in. Let me just show you as an example. It goes over the cap where the ack roll would be, the ack roll cap would be. Make sure that there's no nastiness in. Now to connect it, all you have to do is press in just like so. Without using the trigger, you can see that it doesn't pull out. So to pull it out, press in the trigger, pull it out. To get it in, just press it in. Just here we have your battery locker. Now inside the battery locker you have your connection point here. You have a little cutout for your mains lead, and the mains lead just sits in there, and then just behind it you have your connection point for your motor mover, and I will show you how to operate the motor mover on the day. So this just sits here, and then you can lock the battery locker just up there. That's also where your battery would sit. As I said, I'll show you the motor mover on the day, and then just heading around to this point here, this is where your dirty water will come out of. So there is some waste pipe inside your front locker, 28.5 millimeters, and these connect onto here, and then you feed it into your waste master, and anytime dirty water comes out, will go straight into the waste master. And then this is the last bit here. This is on the door side. So this is to do with your toilet. So this first part here opens up using your key, and this is where you'll put your water in for the flush for your toilet. So get yourself something like a watering can. This compartment can hold up to around 10 litres. You don't want to overfill it though. Have a mixture of water and pink chemical. Pink chemical is the equivalent of bleach for caravans, as you can't use normal bleach as it will corrode the plastics. So you feed that water into there, and that allows you to use the flush operations, which I will show you later on in the video. And then just in this compartment here, this is your cassette for your toilet. Now this is where all of your excrement, or whatever you want to call it, sit. To remove it, once it's full, you press up on the orange handle and slide it out just like so. Take it to your emptying point on site. Come in. Twist the orange handle to the side, open up the cap. Now this cap is useful, and I'll show you how to use it in a second. You tilt, and at the same time as tilting, you continually press in this button here to vent it out. So once you've done that, I do recommend swilling it out with some fresh water afterwards. And again, tilt and vent. Then once you've done that, coming back to this cap, you have measurements in both metric and freedom units here, and fill up the blue chemical in this cap to your desired amount. It's obviously being done just beforehand. Slide the cap back on and twist it on. Put that handle back to the neutral position, and then just simply slide it back. Great, got blue chemical on my hand now, and you can see that it sits behind the teeth just here. However, you don't want to travel with either this compartment or this compartment full, so empty that one out first. And to empty this out, you have this little nozzle here. This little nozzle just sits up there. To remove it, to empty it out, open up this nozzle, and that will empty out the tank. So that's everything for outside. Now I'll show you how to use it inside. Now inside, probably the most important bit is inside here. This is the majority of it you'll only need to know from a technician standpoint, but I'll just show you the main things here. This is underneath your right hand side bed. Just underneath here, that is your boiler. You have this part here. This has your trips and fuses. All your trips have to be in the upright position. You have a system shutdown button, which is what I had pressed on at the time when I was initially showing you the van, so that the mains won't come on. And you have two lights here illuminating, showing that the battery charger is working and that the heating and hot water is working. This just here on this side, that's the battery charger. This is the brain box for your eMove motor mover, and then you have these blue pipes here and this yellow toggle. This yellow toggle is probably the most important bit for your water. It has to be in the horizontal position for water to flow through, and the vertical position drains all the water that's inside the system. So after I finish this video, I will drain it off. So whenever you do come to use the caravan, make sure that it is in the horizontal position. And through these winter months, and you know, whenever you're not using the caravan and just want to drain it off, have it in the vertical position, and that means no water will be inside the system and you'll be able to you know, not have your pipes burst. Now coming back to this, if you do need some extra information, if you pull this down, you have a few sheets telling you about the fuses and a few other bits just there. But the majority of this you won't need to know. The only thing of note is that I will drain it off afterwards. So when you do come to use it, do double check. Now, when you have everything set up that you need to underneath the right hand side lounge, you have this here. This is called your Swift command board, and this is almost like the main control board. You have this and you have this. The Truma, this is used for your heating, hot water and your power sources for them. This pretty much controls everything. Well, everything else. Whatever has the border illuminated is what is currently active. So I'm not sure how well it picks it up on the camera, but currently right now the pump is active and the lighting is active. So just press that just to turn it off. Oh, there we go. So when you have your acro set up outside with your water lead straight and everything else, you press the pump button. The border will illuminate, and then once you've done that, I recommend waiting 2 to 3 minutes and then coming over to your sinks. Just allows, if you've drained it off recently, to have the water flow through. Come over to your sink, run the water for around 30 seconds, and you want a nice steady continuous stream just like that. Run it for around about 30 seconds just to make sure. Do it on both hot and cold as well. So that's hot, that's cold. And that's for the pump. Next up, awning light. Press this, the border illuminates. And there we go, awning light is on. Press that again, turns it off. Next up, lighting. So lighting, you have 2 switches here. This dimmer 2 is for the front of the caravan, dimmer 1 is for the back of the caravan. So if I were to press this 100 button just here, turns off the lighting of the front. Press it again, turns it back on. I may think, oh, that's a bit too bright. You can dim the lighting. Let me see if it picks it up when I do this. There you go. So that's 5, and then goes up in multiples of 5. Get it back up to 100. And then the exact same for this one. To go back to the home page, press that house. Next up, we have power. So press the power button. This shows me that 14.4 volts are coming into the caravan from the leisure battery, but that's obviously the mains right now. Nothing coming in from a solar panel, and 12.8 volts for the vehicle. And then you have the AC current, and you can also set a limit for the AC current. So start at 5 amp and go from there. Okay. Next up, settings. You have some additional settings here. You can pair some devices to Bluetooth. Press this button here and That means anytime I press something, you have a beep. Some people like that, some people don't. I'm not the biggest fan. Then you also have time, date, day, screen brightness, screen timeout, and a night mode in here. Last bit for this, you have your radio. Press on radio. Now you have mode up here. You can either have FM, DAB. Start scanning now. Aux, and to connect aux, it's just in here in this locker, and you have a connection point there for an aux. You can control your volume here, add presets for the radios that you like, and turn it off. And that's how to operate your Swift command board. To turn it off fully, press and hold in this button here, and the same to turn it on. Next up, you have your Truma heating board. It's currently in the night saving mode, or whatever you want to call it, where it's green. So press in on the dial, it illuminates up. Using the dial, I can toggle between and choose what I want. So we'll start off with this one. The caravan with the thermometer in it. You can select anything underneath that top line there. So caravan with the thermometer. Oh, it's just gone off. Press in on the dial. This is for your heating inside the caravan. So it will go back to its most previous setting, which was, I believe, 27 just there. It goes up to a maximum of 30 degrees. And this is for your heating inside the caravan. So it starts at 5. You can have it off or all the way up to 30. Press in and select, and then you can see it goes back to its memory. If you select something and you want to go back, press that back button. Next up, we have the thermometer in water. This is for your water heat. Press it in. You can either have it off, eco, which will get the water to 40 degrees, hot, which will get it to 60 degrees, and then boost. Boost will boost the temperature to 60 degrees for around about 15 minutes. This is ideal for when you want to use a shower or something like that, and then it will drop it back down to 40. Next up, we have the canister with the lighting bolts next to it. This is for your power source. So you can either have strictly gas and a mixture of 1 kilowatt, mixture of gas and 2 kilowatts, strictly electric with 1 kilowatt, or strictly electric with 2 kilowatts. We'll keep it on mix 2 for now. Then you have the fan. This is for the speed of the fan, eco and high. We'll keep it on eco for now. Next we have this timer here. Allows you to set a timer for your heating and hot water. Start at a certain time and then finish at a certain time as well. It's good for saving energy and other bits like that, especially if you're using gas. Then we have your clock. This sets the time to say 20, oh no, you can change the setting for it, either being a 24-hour or a 12-hour clock. Then you have additional settings, which is where you can do temperature, brightness, 12 or 24-hour clock, like I alluded to, language, or index. So that is how to set up your heating and your hot water, and also use what power source you want. Next up, it may seem simple, but it does catch a few people out. We have the toilet. So just step into here. Now I have emptied out that nozzle that I showed you earlier, and so that you're not going to see any water when I press the flush button, but you will hear the motor for it. So you have the flush button just here, press it in, you can hear the water push through, just like that. There is a little bit of water remaining. and then you have this catch just down below here. Slide it towards you, opens up the catch to the cassette toilet underneath. Then to shut that catch, slide it away from you. So press that button there, open the catch, close the catch. Sorted and easy. Next up, we have the hob. So the hob only operates off gas. Your fridge can operate off either gas, mains, or your car battery. And your microwave can only operate off mains. I will just say, we stow the microwave glass plate underneath your left-hand side cushions for your sofa, just because you don't want to travel with it inside, as it may smash. Similarly to this, you don't want to travel with this glass plate up. So if you have been using the cooker, make sure all three of them are cold to the touch before you use it. This is standard to any type of gas cooker. You have this switch here, which you press in, and you can hear the gas ticking in. Then you have these knobs, which you press in and twist to the side. So it's a little bit awkward for me to show with one hand, so bear with me 2 seconds and I'll just show you all of these lit. And this is obviously what it looks like lit. You can change the level of fire essentially using the knobs, but what you're looking for is a nice steady continuous blue flame. Then to turn them off, back to the central position, back to the central position, back to the central position. Now I'll just show you as well for your grill and oven, it's exactly the same. The only other difference is that the oven, instead of the temperature going down when you twist it anti-clockwise, it goes up. Now here you can see the grill, both sides with this nice steady blue flame, and then twist it down below, turns down the heat slightly. Turn it off, and there you go. Now I'll show you the oven, and there we can see the oven. Only other difference is twist it to the side and it will get hotter. Obviously, similar to any other type of oven, you do have to preheat it and everything else. So turn that off, back to the central position just like that. And that is how to operate the hob system. Then the last bit here is the fridge operation. So I currently have the fridge on, lit on gas. To turn it on, you press and hold in this grey button just here. You have an icon here for hazards, icon here to show you that it's, that it's lit on car battery, an icon there whenever the blue sensor is underneath it, that shows what it's lit on. So it's currently lit on gas. You have mains, and then you have auto. Auto will switch it, this fridge will switch to what it appears to be the best power source at the time. To change what power source, you have these two buttons here. This top one, is to change the power source. So if I press it in, you can see I go to mains, press it again, go to auto, and you can see that it flashes and goes onto mains there. Now, I'm going to put it on car battery now. Obviously, you can't choose hazard as an option, but as there's no car battery currently attached, it will flash up and it will beep. This will show you as an example what you're looking for if there is a potential hazard. You can see it beeps and it also flashes. Now for the gas, the only difference is I've had it on gas already, so it may not happen now, but initially when you set up gas, you will hear it sort of tick in. It did just happen then. It's like a similar to on the cooker, just a little bit slower. So keep it on mains for now. And then this scale here, this is for almost the amount of power coming into the fridge. So I've currently got it on maximum. Starts at 1 being the minimum, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes up to 5, and 5 being the most powerful, meaning it will chill the quickest. It takes around about 4 hours for the fridge to be fully chilled. So what I'd recommend is that when you're traveling down to wherever it may be, or up, who knows, set it on car battery, which allows you to chill, and then once you get on site, either have it on gas or mains. Now to turn it off, because if you don't turn it off and you turn off all your mains and whatever, the fridge will beep. To turn it off, press and hold in this grey button here on the side. Actually, before I do that, I'll just show you inside that when the fridge is lit, you do have a blue light on. Then when I turn it off here and everything goes off, no blue light. Initially, when you first turn on the fridge, it will go back to its most recent memory. So that is everything you should need to know on how to set up your caravan. If you do have any other questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I've been Henry, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.